No, you're not seeing triple. This is 3 versions of the Transformers Generations Scourge mold, the Transformers Generation Scourge mold, and in the center, the Transformers United Scourge mold. Considering the news that we just got of a Platinum Edition set coming out, of which this guy is going to be a part of, I thought it'd be a good idea to take a little look back and see which one was better, the United mold or the Generations mold. So sit back and let's explore this question together, shall we? Welcome back to the channel. This is Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. And what bot do I got today? Well, I got 2. I have the Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Scourge and the Transformers United UN-21, I believe is the number, Scourge. I have, honestly, I have this version as Scourge. I have this version and the other one that you saw in the intro, or before the intro, as the sweeps, because we all know the Scourge and the sweeps look alike. But which one of these is better, honestly? Or is either one of them better? Well, you know, with the news just coming at a toy fair about the Platinum Edition set, I thought it'd be good to look back at these 2. Let's get a couple of things cleared up first. I'm not sold on the Platinum Edition set. I understand what they're doing, but translucent plastic being used here on the wings, translucent plastic I believe being used for the thighs, it seems like a lot of translucent plastic. And I recently did a review of the Universe Cyclonus. I compared him to the Combiner War Cyclonus, and you know, I didn't do a full review of the Combiner War Cyclonus. I did do a full review of this guy and concluded that this is the mold that you want for Cyclonus. The paint scheme for the Combiner Wars one is the paint scheme he always should have had. That being said, the Platinum Edition set is going to have translucent arm pieces, I believe translucent wing pieces, a translucent head piece, and translucent lower legs. Again, I'm not sold on that paint scheme. I'm not a huge fan. I just thought I'd pitch that in there since I did mention the Platinum Edition set. These guys, compared to the upcoming Titans Return Scourge figure, how do they still measure up? Are they good, better? Well, I don't know, because we don't have that new figure. I'm not sold on his boxy head. It is nice that his Titan Master Partner is going to be Fracas, even though Fracas should be a weapon and not a head. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, how did these guys scale with a modern day deluxe? Well, you know, here's... let's lay him aside for a second because they're the same height. Here's Alpha Bravo. You see a deluxe still scales well with the deluxe. You know, it is what it is. Before we go on, by all means, please check me out on social media. You know, everywhere. Check out my first novel, The Everything Factor. Check out Machinery of Men. All those links in the usual place. So, on to business. The review of these 2 guys. As always, paint apps, Poseability, Playability, and Transformation. Paint apps, UN-21 wins. He wins because the blue on him is a beautiful metallic blue. His Decepticon logo is right there in the center. I love that. I like the red details here on the toes and the knees. I like the silver right here. You know, the Generations one has black details down here. It does not have that metallic blue on it. The Decepticon symbol is over on the side of the chest. He has white down on his forearms. It's a good paint job. It's just not as it just doesn't strike the eye the same as this one. So the UN version gets a 10 for paint apps. I love them. The Generations version gets an 8 for paint apps. So far, UN-21 is winning. Poseability, playability, that comes up next. Well, he's going to transform into a stealth fighter. He's going to be a plane. There's not a lot of poseability that you would expect there. Playability is great for both of them. The head is going to go left and right. That's for both of them. It goes up, it goes down. That's for both of them. The arms can swivel all the way around. You know, that's for both of them. They go out like this. That's for both. There is a swivel. There is a 90-degree elbow. There is a wrist swivel, which is fantastic. I love seeing a wrist swivel. There is waist articulation as well. That's, I mean, again, that's both of them. The legs go, you know, he can see it. They go back. The toes will tilt forward and backward. Very, very little bit to the side. Again, this is for both of them. The knees, nice deep bend, beautiful deep knee bend. Then we come to the backpack. The backpack, I know how it's supposed to connect on. I find on this guy, it tends to sort of fall off. And the way it's supposed to connect on, and just see if I can, okay, you have, see if I can show this. You have a couple of holes in here, and there's a couple of tabs down here, and they tab into the holes. It holds loosely on him. On this guy, it holds, again, very loosely on him. As well, the wings are supposed to tab in here like this. They hold loosely on him. They hold loosely on him. As for my third version of the mold, you know, again, it holds kind of loosely, but the wing pieces tend to hold in a bit better on him. So, poseability, playability, he's about an 8. He's about an 8 because this back piece falls down. If that didn't, you know, if that never fell down, he'd be a 10. He'd be great. But it does, and that's life. So right now, UN-21 still just slightly winning because they are tied for poseability, playability, and they're tied for poseability, playability, and the truth of the matter is, the paint apps on him are just better. Neither of them stand excellent. They're always both kind of leaning forward in order to stand. If you come, and again, what I'm about to tell you is true for both of them. I think it's absolutely, positively brilliant. If you come to the side, you can open up. You can open up his wing, and you can open up his wing, and you will see inside. And I mean, you could leave his wings open if you wanted in robot mode. I mean, you could leave his wings open to give a more Scourgey type of look. But inside the wings, you will find, and again, this is true for both of them. You will find this, and you will find this. His weapons, they can be used as, you know, by the way, this one folds out. There's one, you know, there's the other, and you can, I guess I should show this. There's a clamp, a little C-clamp there, a little spot right here. You can put that on, and this is supposed to be reminiscent of Fracas, from what I've been told. So, truth is, you know, robot mode, obviously the Titans returns, Fracas is going to look more like Fracas. Gun mode, he's obviously going to look more like Fracas. And when you're done, you take them apart and you fold that up. You go back here to the wings and you fit in one piece, and you close up the wing, and you go back to the wing, and you fit in the other piece, and you close up the wing, and boom. And that's true for both of these guys, so no real winner there. Are the paint apps for the gun the same for UN-21, I wonder? Yeah, the paint apps for the gun look to be the same on both. Yeah, paint apps for the gun are the same. Now we get into transformation for this guy. And again, the United version or the Generations version, it doesn't matter, they're going to have the exact same transformation. So I will take the United version right now and just lay him off to the side, and we will come to this version. And where do we start? Well, I like to start by putting his feet down. His feet should be flat, just like this. And after you have his feet down, you can collapse the leg and collapse the leg, and then there's, you know, a big peg here and a hole over here. Peg them together, and that is the front done. This piece also comes down. It is a back skirt for the waist. Actually, we won't bring that down yet. Turn him at the waist, and now you can bring that down. Locks his lower body all together. It's fantastic, to be honest with you. It's a very nice sort of transformation, and this is where we get our first real vehicle mode differences in the two molds. Because on the Generations one, the windows in front are black, and the skirt piece here is blue. On the United one, the windows in the front are red, and the skirt piece is white. So there's a comparison to them. Next, we want to retract the fist and retract the fist. No problem. We want to bring the chest down. No problem. And we want to flip the head up. No problem. Done. You can take the shoulder apart. Over here you can do the same thing and take the shoulder apart. We're going to make this whole piece into one piece. After you take the shoulder apart, you want to swing the shoulder up so that the shoulders are over his head. Swing the shoulders up like they're over his head. Leave the shoulder pieces up, but turn the arm pieces back down. Straighten the arm out, just like that. Same here, straighten the arm out, turn it down. Beautiful. You push the arms, compressing them into what we did have as those shoulder pieces. If I can do it. Oh, there we go. Here's what we do. Sorry. You bend the elbows out to the side and compress the arm. I haven't transformed this guy in a while. And compress the arm. Bring down that piece on top. Bring down that piece on top. And then tab in. See if I can show it. There's a little tab up here that goes into a slot right here on the arm, and we have like an engine, and we do the same thing over on this side, and we have like an engine. Beautiful. The head, you can leave it up if you want to have Scourge peeking out, or you can also compress this into the chest. But that can be difficult to do. I'll leave it for now. Then we come to the whole backpack thing, and we're going to want to bring this out and bring it around, basically. So how do we do that? What do we do with this whole backpack piece? Well, you basically need to take it and angle it up. after you take it and angle it up, or does it take it and angle it down? There you go. Take it and angle it down. My mistake. You take it, and this is where he gets challenging, folks. This is where his transformation can get a little bit challenging. Okay, there are 2 holes right here. There are 2 pegs right here. You need to try and position it so that those pegs go in those holes like that. That's basically what you're trying to do. And then right here in this red slot, there is a peg here, and that wing will come up and slide in there, just like that. Same thing here. You bring it up and you slot it in. And this is Scourge in plane mode, basically. There, I've pushed his head down. You know, if you want to leave it up, hey, you're welcome to. 2 big engines, another engine, I suppose. He looks good. You know, he's a nice stealth-looking fighter. We'll try and do some of that again in case it wasn't clear to everyone exactly what was done. We come over to the United one. You can take these shoulder pieces and turn them up over his head. It's a bit easier to tell on this guy because the shoulder piece on the front has the regular blue. The shoulder piece on the back has that beautiful metallic-y blue. After you have these shoulder pieces turned up like this, you flip the arm pieces down. You flip the arm pieces down, like so. You take the elbows and you turn them so that they're facing out like this. You collapse the fist, collapse the fist. You bring the arms in and you push the arms in. You close the cap on top. You close the cap on top. You straighten out the arm and peg it in. You straighten out the arm and peg it in. You can even now take the chest and push it down and kind of collapse the shoulders a bit so that you get this as tight as you can have it. You put Scourge's head up. You push it down so that it stays hidden. And then we come to this back section again where you flip out the wings that were locked in there and straighten them out as best as you can. And again, we have 2 holes here. We have 2 pegs on this. We turn this around and we try and position it. And it's difficult to position because of this hinge right here. This hinge right here has, you know, a couple of spots where it moves up here and down here. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We close that in like that. Again, in this red section here, we have a peg that will go in and lock in and lock in. You know, in terms of differences here, on the Generations one, the blue stripe stops. It goes all the way. On the United one, you have those black windows again. You have red windows. You have the nice metallic blue up here. You have the regular blue right here. The transformation is pretty comparable, pretty much the same for both of them. So again, it can be a little fiddly because of this panel here and trying to lock it in. And if you don't know what to do with the shoulders, they can be a little fiddly. So for his transformation, I'm gonna give an 8 to. Overall, I would say that this version, the Generations version, he's an 8. He's a good figure. He's a great figure. He's a nice representation, despite a couple of minor imperfections, like the backpack not quite locking in, and that funny part of the transformation. This guy's a 9. The United version is a 9 because he still suffers from the same things with the backpack and this bit of business down here. There's a little bit of stuff that don't, you know, like to easily peg in necessarily, but his paint apps are so much better. So who wins, United or Generations? Well, compared to the translucent version that's going to be coming out in the Platinum Edition set, I think both of these win. In terms of one against the other, I think the United version just barely wins. Just enough that he can be called Scourge and he can be called a sweep. If you have, no version of this mold and you've been thinking about the box set, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not usually a huge fan of translucent plastic. It's a personal preference. Maybe you love it. And if you love it, hey, great on you. Go out, get it, and be happy with it. Anyway, that's it for this review. Hopefully you agree. Hopefully you think the United one is just a little bit better. As always, share, like, and comment. And I look forward to talking to you next time.